Like I said, we have Nurse Joma Cynthia joining us all the way from UK. But Gratitude will be reading her profile to us, or for us, and let us know exactly who we have on board. So, Gratitude.
Okay, so our guest today is Cynthia Chioma. She's a registered nurse in Nigeria and the United Kingdom, a registered midwife and public health nurse. She's currently working as a tutor with a health training academy in England and also works as a virtual community manager for Pregnancy Support Foundation.
Well,
Yes.
can we have her on the screen? Do we have Nurse now?
Hi, good morning.
Cynthia, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's afternoon actually. So it's so good to
Yeah.
so good to be here once again.
Oh, Choma, you look chubby now. What are you eating?
Oh my god. Well,
It's
nothing.
good to have you.
Food and having good rest. I think that's just it basically. Yeah. So
Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank
Super
you.
amazing. So
Thank
how
you
has
for
it been
having
over
me.
there having to work and at the same time I'm sure that you've also been partaking in some awareness programs and awareness when it comes to health in Nigeria. So how have you been coping doing that and also being newly married?
Oh, well, it's all about balance at the end of the day. So giving priority to what matters. And of course, family should always take the precedent, and then you can now apportion time. I do believe that there is time for everything that you want to do or anything you want to do. It all has to be, how you prioritize things. It has not been easy. Honestly, it has not been easy. Sometimes I feel like 24 hours is not enough anymore. but we're still pushing with it. We're still pushing with it. I'm even enrolled in a postgraduate program currently as well. So it's been a lot, but I thank God for grace and for a supportive spouse as well. Someone who is always ready to help and always ready to assist here. So that's just been it basically, yeah.
Well, I am super excited for you. I'm happy that you could achieve so much in a few moments, or I think a year plus now, if I'm right, that we've known each other. It's been a beautiful ride with you. Thank you again for joining us. Well, I'm sure we already know the topic we're talking about today, but for the purpose of our viewers also knowing, we're talking about reducing maternal mortality, of course, and the critical role nurses and midwives have to play in that reduction. So first, I just want to know, when it comes to mortality, for mothers in childbearing, during childbirth, and even after childbirth, what do you think is the most common reasons why there tends to be high rate of mortality, for mothers? What do you think could be the reason?
Okay. I will not speak just based on what I think, but it's also what has been proven by research. So the most common reason is actually the lack of access to prompt care and quality healthcare as well. So we have prompt access to healthcare facilities and also the presence of quality healthcare facilities. They are hospitals, but the question is, are these hospitals equipped with what it takes to handle, maternal emergencies when they happen? It's not just what it takes, but are there also the personnel who are equipped with the knowledge, the skill, and the expertise to handle these situations where they happen? Because research has shown that 3 out of 5 of these deaths that occur during the period of pregnancy, childbirth, and following childbirth are actually preventable. So for these preventable cases that eventually happen, there are things that were not put into place, and primarily has to be access to quality healthcare facilities, and that includes both the what do I call it now? Both the quality of the healthcare in terms of the I'm trying to look for a word to describe this now, like the things that are needed, or machineries and the skills from the healthcare personnel as well. So all these things have to be in place. And this is like the common cause of the increased or the regular occurrence of maternal child deaths, or maternal deaths specifically. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Right on point and right on time. Well, Chioma Cynthia, we still have you in the studio, but want to quickly go for a commercial break. And of course, from your response, we'll be stirring some questions also in the house, where we are talking about health. And of course, for those who have missed it, we're actually trying to discuss and to understand why we have more maternal mortality rates. And now we are trying to discuss on ways to reduce it, also involving the midwives and the nurses. From you, do you have a take home from the lead to that she has said about the causes of why we have high rate of mortality for mothers in the hospital?
I completely agree with what she said. That's actually the truth. I mean, she's in the best place to
talk about it.
So I completely agree.
I agree, because we need a lot of, according to what she said, for those who take deliveries, hospitals who take deliveries, and when you come there, a lot of people do not have the tools, the equipment, the machines. Some don't even have the experience to deal with different women. And trust me, every woman has its own way of pregnancy. There are always a complication one way or the other. So most times hospitals do not have enough equipment to deal with the critical conditions or the unforeseen circumstances that could be surrounding delivery. I've seen a situation whereby someone was about to take delivery of a woman, and just when the baby was about to bring the head, turned back in and brought out the leg. Now that's a situation whereby immediately you have to, go for the CS. But at that point, because the good hospital, invariably trying to take the patient down to the place where they were, the operating room, where they will have the operation done. The baby took back the leg and brought out the head. So there was no need transporting the woman again and all these issues. So they already have the facility to take care of the baby and everything, even in the operating room. And also there's a normal labor room, which they have. Then there's the surgery room. And that place had the equipment for just a normal delivery. So what they did was, instead of transporting the woman from one station, they just did all of that there. So I think that's what I'm trying to say, because if they had not done that, or maybe they didn't have the facility to do the operation, such thing could happen that maybe the child dies or the mother dies. One person, or sometimes the cases are usually worse, both of them die. So I understand that every hospital needs to take that into consideration, because there are some conditions that might need emergency response. Well, let's bring back Cynthia Chioma to continue talking about this reduction of mortality rate in mothers. Do we have Cynthia back? Okay, well, it's already time for us to take our second tip. But before we get Cynthia back on track, let's quickly go for a break, and we'll go for the next tip. Then we'll come back to the studio to continue the program with Nurse. Still, thank you to Mami. Well, I'm just going to be giving short tips, and network has not actually permitted Nurse Cynthia Chioma to join us again. We've been trying, but it's been quite difficult. So I'm just going to read through some of the roles that midwives and nurses should actually understand. But before that, I want Gratitude to also tell us how we can reduce from the hospital, from even the women themselves. We can reduce the rate of mortality for mothers. So please.
Okay, so how to reduce maternal mortality in childbirth from the hospital to nurses to midwives. First one is quality antenatal care. Early detection of risk like high blood pressure, anemia, infection, or obstructed labor helps. So make sure to get the quality antenatal care that you need for your sake and that of your child. Secondly, skilled birth attendants. Nurses and midwives trained in safe delivery practices can manage normal birth, detect early warning signs, and act quickly when emergencies arise. The third word, emergency preparedness. Hospitals must have access to blood transfusions, surgical services like cesarean sections, and emergency medication. Now, this brings me back to an an interesting scenario that I saw at the time, where some hospitals don't have access to these facilities. The first one is blood transfusion. You see an hospital trying to get blood from a blood bank or from a place down the street, and they're rushing with coolers to get blood. It shouldn't be that way to reduce the mortality rate. So if you're listening to me and you fall in that category, try as much as possible to get these required facilities in your hospital. So the first one, infection prevention. Maintaining strict hygiene and sterile procedures reduces the risk of deadly infections during and after delivery. Fifth one, health education. Nurses and midwives can educate mothers and families on danger signs in pregnancy, bed spacing, and the importance of delivering in safe facilities. So when we have these pregnant women coming for their antenatals, let's make sure to educate them, give them health talks, give them tips on how to take care of themselves, educate the mothers and the families of signs and dangers in pregnancy for them to be aware. Yes. So the last one is postnatal care. Arrange regular follow-up after childbirth helps in detecting and treating complications such as hemorrhage, infections, or high blood pressure. So it's not all about delivering and letting her be on her way. Even after delivery, the postnatal care is very important. Follow up, checking on her, the child, and make sure everybody is fine. Weeks and even a month after delivery really, really helps. So that way, maternal mortality reduces and helps everyone out there, especially the pregnant women. Yes, for the pregnancies. Yeah,
pregnant women. Yeah. Well, that's the case. Well, that's a very beautiful one and very insightful. Now, to wrap up the segment, I will be just listing about 10 things that midwives and nurses need to also, the critical roles they need to play to actually reduce maternal mortality. In simplified terms, means mothers, intending mothers, and of course, how to reduce the fact that there's complication or the high rate of death to everyone, to, mothers. Well, the first one is providing skilled antenatal care. Now, this is for nurses and midwives. Make sure that you provide skilled antenatal care. There are ways to go about that. There are trainings online. There are things you need to do, which are very important. Now, you also need to note that early detection and management of high-risk pregnancy is also part of it. Now, it is not just about giving them the exercise, because I notice sometimes we think it's just about exercising. No, always do squatting, always do this thing or do that. No, you have to try and detect the early signs if there are any complications at all. Then also, you have to be skilled in attending during labor and delivery. When I mean skill, it is not the usual way we have in our public hospitals, where we have nurses beating or hitting mothers. Mothers that are in pain. I've heard a lot of people say that story, and they will say, some people hit me or I was being hit. In fact, I don't feel that pain. The only pain I feel is the child delivery. But trust me, I've heard stories of people who were beaten while they giving birth. And after giving birth, they located that nurse and refunded what the nurse gave to them. But anyways, moving on, like I said, skilled attendance during labor and delivery. The next one is postnatal care. It is very, very important. You have to monitor them, especially because of hemorrhage or body pain or any pain. Most times when the pain is persistent and it's there for too long, this means that there could be a complication and something needs to be done. Also, you have to provide family planning, counseling. Very important. Well, also there's what they call the emergency obstetric and newborn care. This one is basically for midwives. So it is very important that is also included, which is the manual removal of placenta, the management of the preeclampsia, and of course the administration of parental antibiotics, oxytocics, and anticonvulsants. Some people convulse while pregnant or after delivery. So there are a lot of things that needs to be included to make sure that all of this death rate is being reduced. Now, another one is family planning, like I said earlier on. and counseling. Then we have health education and community outreach. It is not until it is happening before you start providing solution. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. You could also go to your communities. You guys could have an outreach. You can have something to do with any community to actually educate them properly on how to go about pregnancy and even after delivery. Another one is advocacy and leadership. Lead by example. Well, there's data collection and use, where you have to have an accurate data for every pregnant woman, especially their mental health. Because trust me, I'm not saying pregnant women are not mentally stable, but you don't want to try them. A woman that will wake you up 12 a.m. and tell you, I want fish head pepper soup, just that fish head. So just tell me what level she is. So that's what I'm trying to say. You have to keep the correct data collection of every woman mentally. It is very important. You don't want to make a mess of that. And the next one is promoting respectful maternal care. Now, respectful means you have to ensure there's dignity, there is privacy, there is informed consent, and non-discrimination when it comes to maternal care. Don't discriminate. Oh, this one came in, she's looking all posh and well, they should give us money or whatever. No, you have to make sure that it is all equal. And the last but not the least is training and mentoring. Now you have to train, you have to mentor other healthcare workers and community healthcare workers. Now, professionally, continuously learning to be professional, it is good. It will help reduce the mortality we have when it comes to women. And to wrap this up, I will say for every reduction in maternal mortality, you must be present, you must be prepared, and you must be empowered. Well, at this point, I think we should draw the curtain.
Yeah.
So we've done the justice, a little justice to this.
We
But
have.
obviously we'll be bringing Cynthia Chioma next week, hopefully, to talk more about it. Because all these points, I need to ask her questions and throw some shades. So she could actually help us clarify why nurses are like this, why midwives are like this, and why it is like this also for pregnant women or women who just gave birth. Well, it's been fun. Gratitude, don't you think?
It has really been fun. I've been able to get understanding on areas I really don't understand in that aspect. Yes, with this little she said.
With this, she said so much. And of course, we can't even wrap here. We're drawing the curtain because we have another program coming up pretty soon, and that's treating what's buzzing and trending on social media, which is the buzz, coming up soon. My name is Sweet Blossom. I'll be seeing you on that. So don't change the channel. It's still Galaxy TV. Yours truly. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Women's Corner. See you same time, same station tomorrow. My name is Gratitude Mokodeyo Gen Z. Goodbye.